that was the way it was then. You raced yourself into shape. You did a lot of races where you were just not competitive, but you just were there for training. That's obviously not possible anymore today because races are such a high level. You show up at any easy early season race, and if you're not fit, you're dropped. So doesn't matter which category of race, if it's a World Tour race or a pro race or a 1.1 whatever, you're dropped.
Everybody, welcome back to the Move Plus for a special in-person edition. I'm here with Johan Bernil in the Costa Blanca of Spain.
Costa Blanca, yeah.
Yeah. We're in the midst of all the team training camps, but we are having a very special in-person episode. We're going to be running down a little bit of the news of the week, what we've seen this week, and of course, people are asking for updates on the Strava challenge between Johan and I. I don't like my chances on that. This is a bit like, I think it's a 2016 Tour. Roman Bardet's second, but he's like 7 minutes back and he doesn't really have a chance. That's what I feel like. But first, let's hear from a few partners and then we'll get right into it.
Hey everybody, this episode is brought to you by OneSkin. If you're like me, your skin needs some extra care this time of year. Between colder weather and the holidays fast approaching, it can feel like nonstop stress to the system. That's why I've continued to rely on OneSkin. It's been invaluable to have a daily routine that delivers both powerful skincare and longevity benefits all in a few simple steps. And I never know what to get anyone for the holidays. So OneSkin is stepping up and launched their limited edition holiday sets, including the Nightly Rewind gift, which is one of those rare gifts that's both impressive and useful, providing an upgrade to anyone's nightly routine. And at the core of the OneSkin product is their patented OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to target cells, the root cause of wrinkles and loss of elasticity, all signs of skin aging. And these results have now been validated in 5 different clinical studies. Known for their cult skincare favorites like OS1 Body, OS1 Face, OS1 Eye, OneSkin stands out for their science-first approach at skin aging, delivering hydration, barrier support, and powerful longevity benefits in every product. For a limited time, try OneSkin for 15% off using code THEMOVE at oneskin.co/THEMOVE. That's oneskin.co/THEMOVE. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show by telling them we sent you. Hey everybody, this episode is brought to you by NordVPN, which has become a must-have for me to keep up with all my cycling and other sports viewing as I travel around the globe. What I love most is the freedom NordVPN gives me. I can safely access my favorite streams and cycling coverage no matter where I am in the world. During major races, that's huge. Whether I'm traveling or just trying to catch a broadcast that is not available in my region, I can switch my virtual location in seconds and watch exactly what I want. For example, while I'm traveling around the Costa Blanca this week with Johan, I can still keep up with my Denver Nuggets because I just switched that NordVPN to wherever I need it to be, and my League Pass works back in the States. It's incredibly easy to use, just one click to connect, and with over 7,500 servers in 118 countries, I can change my virtual location effortlessly. I know people say, oh, just get a VPN. It's so easy. And you think, it can't be that easy. Well, with NordVPN, it is that easy. I promise you, you can do it. NordVPN is one of the fastest VPNs out there as well, so you never deal with buffering when you're streaming a big mountain stage. Plus, the account works across 10 devices and supports every major platform. If you want to try NordVPN, you can do it right now with no risk with our exclusive NordVPN 30-day deal. Go to nordvpn.com/TheMove to try it out risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee.
All right, Johan, it's a little funny being here because you could actually pick up quite a bit of news and gossip. You see people around, maybe people not around. And I think the big news of the week is Oscar Onley not being at the Picnic Post-NL team training camp. He's not at another team training camp because we would have seen a picture of it. But what's going on with that? He had quotes the other day that made it seem like he's probably not coming back to that team.
Yeah, well, we talked about it in the last podcast, I guess, no? But I think since then, that kind of rumor is getting stronger and stronger, I would say. And it's not confirmed, of course. The fact he's not at a training camp is suspicious, in my opinion. You could say, well, he just got back from a long stay in Australia. Maybe he has to recover from the travel, or I don't think that's the case. I think his own declaration saying that, in theory, I'm with the team, but my future is still uncertain. Something along those lines, I think, is telling. At the same time, we've also gotten news. I don't think those are rumors, that the team Picnic Post NL, their license, the new World Tour licenses are 3 years, right? Apparently their license is only guaranteed for 1 year because they cannot give, for the moment, any financial guarantees for 2027 and 2028. So I think personally that this Oscar Only situation is going to evolve. We don't know, obviously, what's happening behind the scenes, but I can see him at Ineos next year, Spencer. He's not at the training camp. That's the first sign. Then, I did a little bit of research, and we talked about some riders leaving that specific team, the team of Ivan Spekenbrink, before the end of their contract. And I have a few names here. So we know Marcel Kittel left before he went to Quickstep, I think. Tom Dumoulin left with a running contract. Edward Teuns went to Trek with a running contract. Mark Hirschi, Michael Matthews, Warren Barguil. I mean, these are just a few names. There's a lot more. So there is a certain tendency in that team to let a rider go for, in my opinion, a good amount of money. And I also read somewhere else on social media that they had a big loss in 2022 and 2023. So I think it's a matter of time, honestly. This is just a gut feeling. I have absolutely no information, but I can perfectly see Oscar Only not riding for Picnic Post NL and riding for Ineos. And I think for him, it makes sense. He's obviously a big talent, fourth in the Tour de France, and if you're in a team that cannot give you the stability for the next 3 years, then it's normal that you look for somewhere else. And don't know who his agent is, but he probably has a good agent. So Oscar Only, in my opinion, is riding for Ineos in 2026.
What's his name? Luke Greff. He's the producer at Lantern Rouge. He had figures. I don't think he cited his source. I'm hesitant to even say the figures, but they were big losses. And it said the total budget was less than 15 million euros a year. That's men's, women's, and development team. Mm-hmm. That doesn't seem like enough money. And that would probably explain the losses, and that they potentially need the cash injection and to not be liable for his salary next year, I'd assume. So it does make sense that they would sell him just for the financial need. But what happened? How does that work? You get a World Tour license for 1 year, and then there's a review process?
Well, there's every year a review process. You get a World Tour license initially for 3 years. And most of the teams right now, they have a 3-year plan. So they can give you a budget projection for the next 3 years, because you need to file all the sponsoring contracts, all the riders' contracts, the ins and outs of the money stream. You get a 3-year license, but every year you need to revise and you need to give new bank guarantees. And here in this case, Picnic Post NL is not able to do that. And I think that puts them really in a weak position with regards to Oscar Only, because it's a rider who was fourth in the Tour de France in 2025. We're going into 2026, but after such a big performance, normally you would renegotiate your contract for the next 2 or 3 years. Yeah. And obviously, Spekenbrink is not in a position to do that. So I think he's going to choose the money, Spekenbrink, and try to sell him to Ineos. If it's not done yet, we'll see what happens.
Do you think he'll try to sell the whole team, sell the license?
Yeah, I think initially he's going to try to keep the license and find a new sponsor. But yeah, if somebody else, let's say another manager, has sponsorship and says, hey, you know what, I have a new sponsor, because if now for 2026 somebody has a new sponsor for 27 and 28, you can't just jump in. You need to wait for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so this is a great opportunity, in my opinion, to jump in and have the remaining 2 years of a team, of a contract, and get that license for 2027 and 2028.
And then what if he did sell it? How much would that go for? Right?
Listen, I think that particular team, probably not so much, because even if he doesn't have contracts beyond 2026. I'm pretty sure there are riders with contracts, so you have to, honor those contracts. A part of that, what's the value of a cycling team really? If you sell a license, it's contracts. I mean, you ideally sponsoring contracts. Apparently, there are not many of those. There's liability, so riders and staff contracts, and then there's equipment. There's buses, vehicles, and maybe offices and a service course if it's not a lease.
Yeah, it could just be a lease.
Normally it's a lease. But yeah, I mean, the value is not that much, and especially a team that is in the lower rankings for a number of years now, like Picnic Post NL, I think it would be pretty cheap, very cheap.
I listened to a good interview with Thor Hushovd on the cycling podcast recently, and it's because he was saying it's good to be World Tour. It's good for our sponsors. They can wrap their head around it. But they didn't really, life is easy. If you're a good pro team, like second division team, going up to World Tour, it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot more money. You have to go to every race.
There's more obligations.
Yeah. And he was saying it's great to have done it, but you could imagine a situation where you were a team, an upstart team with the sponsor. It might not be the best thing just to buy a World Tour license. And now we're at the Tour de France. It's that sounds appealing, but there are downsides to it, and you have to live up to it.
It's a budget question. If a big sponsor really wants in and straight away go to the biggest league, then you can do it. But I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I think Speek and Brink will first of all try to find sponsorship to remain, in the World Tour. It's quite attractive for a new sponsor to say, okay, if you come in 2027 and 28, we can guarantee you all the big races.
Yeah.
Even if it's with a lower budget, you're in, right? If he gets his budget, I mean, there's no minimum on a budget for the World Tour, legally, or the rules don't say you have to have this. This is the minimum. So if these numbers are true, that it's less than 15 million, it's definitely the lowest of all the World Tour teams. But they're still World Tour. They're doing all the big races. They're doing the Tour de France. They're doing the Giro. They're doing the Vuelta, and they're in the big league. So.
I guess the effective minimum would be 28 times the minimum salary and the gas and hotel room costs of going to the race, which, I mean, that would be something to have a whole team on minimum salaries. I want to see somebody do that.
Yeah.
That it probably is slightly higher than you'd think. I heard a team had a gas bill over €1 million.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it's big vehicles and you have to travel all over Europe with buses and trucks, and the prices of gas here are through the roof.
It's wild.
I mean, you as an American, you come here, you say, okay, this is, you pay here per liter what you pay for a gallon in the US.
Like in France, it's probably $10 a gallon.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into French gas prices. That's our second section here. I forgot what I was going to say, but Beniam Girmay was announced at the NSN team camp media day. Are uniforms getting worse? What is going on with Cycling Kit?
Well, I've read a lot about it, about that uniform. I have to say, I initially say, wow, but I actually like it, man. I think it's very, it draws the attention. It sticks out, and it's different than any traditional cycling uniform. And I think for that team, it's definitely a sign. This is a new team, a new image, completely different than anything else of what they had before, and anything else than everybody else. So I have to say, I kind of like it. We're definitely going to see them. And it's
I guess we should probably have Gabriel put a picture of the kit up.
Yeah,
we're just talking about.
Let's do that. Yeah,
it's kind of like peachy. I don't know. It's very 1980s.
Well, yeah, but no, I mean, I like it. I actually just talked about it just before you got here, Spencer. I had a call with one of our sponsors, Ekoi. They're sponsoring NSN cycling team, and Ekoi also they love the design. Also new bikes, right? The Scott bikes.
Yeah.
So everything's different. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Binyam Girmay has been confirmed. He's the number one rider on that team. What do you think, Spencer? What are your thoughts on his? What level can he reach? Where do you see Binyam Girmay in 2026 season cycling? Didn't have a great season. The year before, he won 3 stages at the Tour, right, in 2024, and the green jersey.
Yeah, green jersey, 3
stages at the Tour.
Kind of, he's a very good rider. I like the signing for him, even if let's say he stinks it up for the rest of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost worth it for them because they have an identity and they've changed the conversation. It's not just about the protests and everything. Like, they really have an identity they can build on that. He's pretty good, even when he's in a funk, which you would say he was probably in a bit of a funk this year. You look at his results, he's still contesting stages of the Tour.
Yeah.
That's not nothing. And I mean, he was I think he was second or third in the green jersey standings. So it wasn't, he was terrible, but he's one of these riders where even you go back at the great Tour that he had last year, like kind of a disappointing year up until then, but he does seem able to like meet that level. He'll be lower than you think he is, and he can kind of show up and hit that level. It's not clear to me why he's not as consistent as we want.
I think 2026 is going to be very, very crucial for him. If he can come back to something that was similar to his best level, I would say, okay, he's still up there. I mean, once you're out of the game, like not in the top 3 or not contesting these sprints anymore for 2 or more seasons. I think the way cycling at the speed cycling is evolving now and the levels going up year after year, I'm a bit worried. In his favor, he is still quite young. I think we often make the mistake, Binyam Girmay, we kind of see him as a veteran already, but he turned pro really young. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the junior rankings, I think he was probably the only rider to ever beat Remco Evenepoel in the juniors. Binyam Girmay. He did. Now I'm thinking about it. He was. So, let's give him some time. But definitely in 2026, he will need to step up as the leader of NSN Cycling and needs to perform again.
Yeah. I don't want to say the F word, but you do worry, is this like Froome 2.0? Like they signed a very expensive rider that was an albatross on their neck for years, but he's 25 and he's coming off. I'm looking at his results. Finished the season, you would not say fantastically. I think he lost to Arnaud Delis, who would have been his rival for leadership had he stayed by like in 7 consecutive races. But did we hear anything about this season? Like, why was he off the level?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is concerning.
I mean, obviously, listen. We also need to think about. There has been a lot of uncertainty around that team for the whole season now. Obviously, the financial problems they had during the season. Girmay for sure also was informed about this. I think that there had been issues with his bonuses in 2024. They didn't get paid, so I don't know if they got paid now already or not. But that obviously has an impact on a rider and his season. If you have worries, first of all, you don't know every month if you're going to get your salary or not, and then nobody. I mean, the uncertainty about the year after has been there. I think, in my opinion, the whole season. So this might have had an impact on Girmay more than we think.
Well, here's another question. But I like it. I like the signing for Innocent. I think it's important for them. And I don't think they had a lot of other options. If Derek G's gone, what are you going to do? Like, you can't. But do they have Intermarché, for all their failings, pretty strong team? Like, they supported him really well. You look at their roster at any given classic race, and they just have a lot of guys you can imagine contesting for the win. Does NSN have the same level of support that Israel Premier Tech did?
That Intermarché had.
Yeah. They're not connected, these two teams, NSN and Israel Premier Tech.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think for the classics, probably yes. I think they have good riders to support Girmay. I mean, he is for sure going to be the number one leader in the races that suit him. So, no, I think so. I mean, certainly in terms of the whole staff and the infrastructure around the team is going to be a lot better for Girmay than at Intermarché.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think the budget of that team was? We were talking about a 15 million euro budget.
Intermarché, they're up there with they're up there with Picnic PostNL. I think so.
I mean, we were hearing figures about their title sponsorship commitment, and it was shocking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would be surprised if it was 50 million. But let's take a quick ad break, and then we'll be right back.
Everybody, this episode is brought to you by Hollow Socks. I am getting ready to fly to Spain in a few hours for the UAE team camp. And one thing I'm going to be wearing is my Hollow Socks. They keep my legs from feeling heavy when I arrive after a long flight, and they keep swelling down. And as a result, are a complete game changer. They're the first compression sock that I've worn that don't force me to choose between comfort and functionality. And as a result, are the only compression socks I've ever been able to wear for an entire travel day without ripping them off in disgust when I get there. These ultra soft baby alpaca fibers they use to make it keep the compression sock comfortable. And honestly, I'm going to say it should probably be against the WADA code. I think they give you an unfair advantage. They're that good. They're also made in the USA, trusted by doctors, and over 2 million pairs have already been sold. So for a limited time, Hollow Socks is having a buy two, get two free sale. Head to hollowsocks.com to check it out today. That's Hollow Socks for up to 50% off your order. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. You can support our show by telling them we sent you. Again, you need some gifts this time of year. Make sure you get Hollow Socks with the buy two, get two free sale. Everybody, this episode is brought to you by Bubs Natural. You know the moment you realize you're not 25 anymore? For me, it was flying to the UAE team camp in Spain this week. Holy smokes, was I tired. The jet lag was tougher. Recovery is harder. And I'm going to say riding around with all these cyclists on the Costa Blanca, I've realized my body's just not bouncing back as quickly anymore. Getting older hits harder than you expect, but it doesn't have to. And that's why I've been using Bubs Natural Collagen Peptides. Starting in your mid-20s, your body produces less collagen every single year. Collagen is literally the glue that holds everything together. Bubs helps bring those levels closer to what your body had when you were younger. The result, stronger joints, healthier hair and nails, smoother skin, and noticeably faster recovery. And the best part is how easy it is to use. You just put a scoop in your morning coffee, boom, dissolves, you're drinking it. You don't even know you're drinking it. And what makes Bubs special is the story behind it. The company is named after Glenn Bub Doherty, a former Navy SEAL and American hero who lost his life saving others in Benghazi. The brand carries his spirit of improvement and service, and Bubs donates 10% of all profits to charity, starting with the Glenn Doherty Memorial Foundation. So live better longer. For a limited time only, our listeners are getting 20% off at Bubs Naturals by using code WEDU, WEDU, at checkout. Just head to bubsnaturals.com and use code WEDU, and you're all set. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Make sure you say yes so we get some credit.
All right, Johan, I've spent the last few days at the UAE. I've been poking around the UAE team hotel for their camp, talking to some people at Colinago. If people remember, I don't even really know why I got this in my head, but I just think I thought the bike looked heavy, and then they were using it inconsistently throughout the year. My thought was like, well, maybe it's too heavy. They're only using it to appease the sponsor when they need to, but they like I think it's the V5 was the classic road bike one. And then they rolled it out for Otakam, pretty good result there. The time trial the next day, you would say that wasn't too bad for Pogačar. And then he never left it. Like he's been on it ever since. So it would confirm that he liked it. But one thing that they pointed out to me is like, okay, you're saying they didn't use it in the classics. Well, you don't understand the classics where everything was prepared for the classics and tested like 6 months before the classics. And so I found out yesterday, Tadej Pogačar, Tim Wellens, and I think Florian Vermeesch they were up. I was in Brussels briefly. I thought, wow, this looks terrible, this weather. I wouldn't want to be out there riding. But they were out there previewing, I believe, Paris-Roubaix and testing equipment on it. And like, I was somewhat shocked to find out and they had, a lot of resources up there very smart people from both Colnago and the team supporting them. It's shocking to know that this is when the decisions for equipment are made for Paris-Roubaix, which is half a year away.
Yeah, I mean, we all saw the images on social media, of Pogačar. I mean, they wanted to go incognito, but they can't go anywhere incognito.
Someone told me he went in to get a haircut, Pogačar, and there was like people taking his picture getting a haircut. So it was blown up.
But I mean, it's true. Equipment is being tested now in the winter. We also saw Wout van Aert and Visma testing out the wheels, the self-inflating and deflating hubs that were already used last year. They tested it again. I saw some images of Wout on the cobbles. Really bad weather. I mean, it's I'm not going to say shocking, but it is what's apparently what they do now. And
did you have George out there like early December?
Never.
No,
you would never. I mean, back in the day, never. Nobody did that. No, you normally. I mean, for Pogačar, it's a bit different because it's a new race for him, right? So he did it the first time as a professional last year. He had done it already as a junior, Paris-Roubaix, but so he's still learning that race. But I mean, even a guy like Van Aert, who has done it many, many times, who knows the race in and out, is already testing equipment and with Visma. So no, I mean, this is something that you would not even think about to do this in December. No way. So listen, in today's cycling, they are super prepared for everything. The calendar is announced. Many teams announce their teams already or their lineup for classics, which leaders are doing which races. So it's just part of it. And I think it says a lot about Pogačar's ambition for those races, for Roubaix and also for Milan-San Remo, but specifically Roubaix.
I mean, he could easily not have gone. He'd be here. The weather's bad for here, but it's pretty nice.
I think he came a day late because of that, because I think the part of the team was here already. And he came, I'm going to guess he arrived yesterday because today, actually, I rode with friends, a lap. We did 100 kilometers they passed, the team passed us. I mean, no, we don't go very fast. First of all, we're old people. But we how our group we're called the Omils. That you have mammals, that's middle-aged man in lycra. We are the Omils, the old man in lycra. So they passed us. They were at cruise speed talking, and it was impressive. But I think he came a bit late to the training camp because he first went to Belgium and North of France to preview that, or not preview. I think it was more equipment testing than previewing the course.
Yeah, because when I heard he was there, I was thinking, he's previewing the course. They said no, it's all equipment testing. Yeah, they're trying to figure out what they're going to run.
Well, I mean, what would they be testing then? Obviously, they're not going to ride the aero bike. I saw on the pictures it's the traditional shaped frame, but we don't know if it's their traditional frame or if it's a special frame for Roubaix.
I don't know.
Wheels, tires.
I spent an hour this morning with the lead engineer at Colnago, and maybe he just believes in the aero bike a lot, but he was saying, well, there is high speed. If you want to go solo, maybe the aero bike is the way to go. So
on the cobbles,
it's pretty. I rode it today. It's pretty stiff. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, we Spencer, listen, I mean, you're a lot younger, but you can't compare our feelings on a bike, on any bike, compared to professional. Whatever it feels on a bike, it doesn't matter. They ride these guys. You have to compare this, Spencer, to us riding a super nice car, and then they give us a Formula One car. We would not be able to drive it.
Get it out of the driveway. Yeah.
Same way with the bikes.
Well, I'm on this bike that Pogačar had right before me, and they had to change. I could not have ridden it. They had to change the seat post because he sits so far forward. Mm-hmm. I don't think I could have successfully ridden it a couple miles. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how modified these positions are.
So you got the bike now, and you're gonna test it here, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah, test it here, and then fly home with it, and then maybe fly to San Diego or something. find nice weather. It is slightly warm in Boulder now that I've left. I can be out there on it. We'll see.
Well, we're not lucky with the weather here because I'm here for 3 days. I mean, initially 3 days. I'm probably going to stay a bit longer, but today Friday. It was the best day. Saturday, Sunday, tomorrow, and the day after, it's going to rain. So I don't think you're going to get a lot of riding in.
Well, we'll see. Well, hope Sunday looks dire, and Sunday was the day to ride a lot. But they were also testing. I don't know if I should say specifically what, but some tire widths that kind of shocked me. Just for the regular road bike, I do wonder if we're going to see tire widths like take a step up.
So wider,
quite a bit wider.
34,
even bigger than that.
Wow.
Yeah, and Pogačar it was the day he was not at the camp.
I mean, I think 34, 35. It's big, but I've been riding 35s, like road tires on a gravel bike. It rides very smooth. Probably not, to be competitive. It must be a bit slower, in my opinion. That's heavier.
And it's just a lot of rubber when you get up to that.
Yeah, but Pogačar usually, I mean, it's already a few years now that he rides 30 millimeters all year round, whereas everybody else rides 28s, or most of them ride 28s.
Yeah, they were walking me through it that he stepped his width up. I mean, these rims, these Envy rims. We're not sponsored by Envy. They're pretty impressive, and the tire sits on there so well. So whatever they're doing, it's working out well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it works well for Pogačar.
You mentioned they passed you. How do they? I don't think if you've never been to a camp, you probably imagine it's like a group ride. They just go out and they're training every day, but it's not like that. They have days where they're going slower, they're going faster. How do they map that out?
I think, although it seemed to us that they were flying, in my opinion, today was just an endurance day. They were going fast, but they were chatting. These guys always ride fast, so I think it was just an endurance day with the group today, and then probably they're gonna have other days where they do specific exercises. But who was it who said? Oh, it was. I saw an interview with Neil Spollet. I don't know if you saw that interview a few weeks ago, and he said, like at UAE, the group trainings are just insane. It's basically, they're just racing. He was at training camp last year here, and they did one big ride of like 200K, and his average watts on that training ride were higher than his watts at Tour de Flanders. Wow. Tour of Flanders of the whole. So imagine the intensity of the training rides at that team.
I think you mentioned that it was last year, the year before, they did it. It's like a 30-minute out. Maybe it was long, maybe it's shorter, like a 15-minute out and back time trial, all out at training camp this time of year. And when you see these guys walking around, they look race fit. They must show up almost at their race level. We talked about this in weeks past. We don't quite get it, but you see them in person, and it brings it home how fit they are coming in.
Yeah, and they don't race many days, that's it. That's what completely changed. I published on my social media the other day, a screenshot of my journal from my first Tour de France season when I was a young professional, and it was my last race in Lombardy. I had abandoned, and I had 35,500 kilometers that year and 123 race days. And if you look at certain riders' programs now, it's 123.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a third.
So if you look, you take out the winter. So basically November, December, January, no races. Yeah. So that's basically one race every second day.
Wow. Yeah, that could be too much racing.
No, that was crazy. That was crazy. But that was the way it was then. You raced yourself into shape. You did a lot of races where you were just not competitive, but you just were there for training. That's obviously not possible anymore today because races are such a high level. You show up at any easy early season race, and if you're not fit, you're dropped. So doesn't matter which category of race, if it's a World Tour race or a pro race or a 1.1 whatever, you're dropped.
Yeah, I mean, just think about Oscar Onley. The last 2 years, he's been really good at Tour Down Under.
Mhm.
It's not seemed to hurt his Tour de France. He got top 5 at the Tour. You mentioned not a lot of races. Remco Evenepoel came out with the schedule today.
Mhm.
What were the highlights? And then I think the major highlight is it's only 40 days of racing.
Well, I mean, we talked about Remco's program when there was these rumors about Giro and Tour of Flanders, especially.
Yeah.
And I was critical about it. I said it was a bad idea. Obviously, this is not the reason they didn't listen to the I mean, maybe they did listen to the podcast, but that's not.
We can't go to this.
But that's not the reason. But it's a traditional program. He's going to focus on the Ardennes, so Flèche Wallonne, Bastogne Liège, Amstel Gold Race, and Dauphiné, whatever it's called now. Rhône. Anyway, Dauphiné. Let's call it Dauphiné, and Tour de France, and then the World Championships after that. I did a quick Catalonia also he does. So, he does 2 1-week races, 2 of the 7 1-week races. So I think, in my opinion, that should be a focus for him. But if you add all the races, it's 40 races in the whole season. So not a lot. But you also have to say that if a rider like Remco Evenepoel in a team like Red Bull, he's hired there to win. Every single race on his program is to perform. There is no races there that he's not going to have any pressure. He has the pressure all the time to perform. So, and I think for a rider like Remco, I think that works because I've seen a lot of times that when he comes back from a training block without any races, he performs.
That's true.
Mostly the best.
Yes.
So doesn't need a lot of races, but 40 races is not a lot.
Just to give people perspective on this or context, Pogačar didn't race, like he had maybe the lightest race number of race days of his career, maybe outside of 2020, and it was 50. So it's 10 less than that. And even Evenepoel, I'm looking at 2023, he raced 68 days.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a significant step down.
I know a guy who did less races. I mean, than 40, in my opinion. It's Mathieu van der Poel. If you look him up, you'll see.
He might be. You're right. I mean, even just think of the races that we saw him at. Try to count them in your head. It's so few. 41.
41. Okay.
This year. Well, because he did the tour all the way to 16.
Yeah.
Was there years where he's always done a Grand Tour? No. Wait. What about like 2021?
Yeah.
37 race days in 2021. Wow.
But, I mean, listen, that's the same thing. Mathieu, every single race he starts, he has to perform. That's the label he has. He needs to be, the leader of the team and perform. So, and the good thing about these guys is that usually they do deliver. They're not always winning, but they're always in it for the win.
So Remco's going to the Tour. I'd assume
with Lipowitz,
Red Bull's strategy will be they're both leaders.
Yes, yeah. They announced that already. Yeah.
And no, Roglic is not.
So Roglic has announced that he's not doing the Tour. He's focusing on the Vuelta. So
I think that's smart.
If you look at Roglic, so no Tour, yes to the Vuelta. I think he can become the all-time record holder of the Vuelta. If he wins, he's gonna have won it 5 times, which is nobody has done it. Now he's equal tie with Roberto Heras. They both have 4. I think, in my opinion, this is just me thinking, right? I have no information, but I think that Roglic will also do the Tour of Switzerland because it's the only one of the 7 important 1-week races he hasn't won. He has won everything else. He has won Tirreno, he has won Paris-Nice, he has won the Basque Country, he won Catalonia, he won Romandy, and he won the Dauphiné already. So if he wins Tour of Switzerland, he fulfills that. He's won all 7 of those. And then also, I mean, if Roglic can focus on his own races and races where Pogačar is not racing, I think Roglic could get to 100 victories this season. He has won 91 races so far. So I think Roglic has his own program, his own goals, and I think it's very achievable.
And so, I mean, if he wins the Volta, that's pretty good for Red Bull and him. Not going to the Tour. Did they say anything about the Giro?
They didn't say yet about the Giro. I do think that they're probably going to send Pellizzari. Pellizzari has publicly said that he would love to do the Giro, but it's the team who decides. And then, they also have Jay Hindley, ex-Giro winner.
Who got second at the Giro 2 years ago? I forgot about this, to be completely honest.
Yeah, Daniel Felipe Martinez.
And he's on that team.
Yeah. Well, another guy who I hope he can get back, but this year was not a good season for Felipe Martinez, Daniel Felipe Martinez.
No, I would not say that was, especially in a team like that, because you mentioned Jai Hindley, a few years in the wilderness. Now he's back, looking great. Mm-hmm. And I assume he'll go to the Giro as well. Let's take a quick break. And then I want to talk to you about this phenomenon of why do we know all this right now? It seems like it's coming out way too early. I don't fully get it, but we'll be right back.
Everybody, this episode is brought to you by Hims. You shouldn't have to rearrange your life to deal with hair loss, and Hims makes expert care accessible on your schedule so you can focus on feeling like yourself again. That's where Hims really pulls ahead. They make it easy to take control with simple, personalized care that actually fits your life. Hims gives you convenient access to prescription hair loss treatments that work, including Choose oral meds, serums, and sprays, all backed by clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can stop hair loss and even regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. The best part, it's all 100% online. You connect with a licensed medical provider, get a treatment plan personalized for you, and it ships right to your door. No waiting rooms, no awkward pharmacy lines, no surprises, just expert care on your schedule. So for simple online personalized care for things like hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/themove. That's hims.com/themove for a free online visit. hims.com/themove. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. Hey, everybody, this episode is brought to you by Mint Mobile. You don't have to let big wireless and your overpriced phone bill suck the joy out of the holidays, because right now, all of Mint Mobile's unlimited plans are 50% off. You can get 3, 6, or 12 months of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. It's their best deal of the year. Makes it really easy to give your expensive wireless bill the Scrooge treatment. All Mint plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. You can bring your current phone number over to Mint, no problem. It's so easy. I recently switched my work phone over to Mint. It was incredibly easy to sign up. The price is great, obviously, but just with their app, it's minutes, and you've switched over. You've got your number. It's seamless. So turn your expensive wireless present into a huge wireless savings future by switching to Mint. Shop Mint Unlimited plans at mintmobile.com/themove. That's mintmobile.com/themove. Limited time offer, upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Over 35 gigs may slow when the network is busy. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com for details.
So, Johan, we were just talking, obviously, about what races these top stars are going to. So they're all sitting at their team hotels right now at training camp. They know where they're going, where they're not going. I think the big news of the day, the one that maybe didn't shock me and maybe we saw coming, but it's still surprising. Jonathan Milan not going to the Tour de France. It's Mads Pedersen's time. Why is Littlecheck doing this? Why not send both of them? Like, is this sustainable? Like one for him, one for Mads, one for Milan?
I think so. I mean, listen, last year they left. I mean, this season they left Pedersen out. I mean, not left them out. They obviously agreed upon it. And Pedersen did a great Giro and a great Vuelta.
Yeah, it actually maybe helped.
And had a great classic season. I mean, he was all the time up there with the top 3, top 4. But yeah, let's not forget that this year, Littlecheck didn't have any GC ambitions. They were focusing completely on the green jersey, and they won it with Milan. But next season, there's Juan Ayuso, who wants to go for GC in the Tour. So they have to divide the team. And in my opinion, with a guy who wants to go for GC, apparently Skelmose is also on the team for the Tour. So they have 2 riders for GC, and I think Pedersen fits that team better because Pedersen is also a guy that on the days that are not for him, he is an incredible support rider. Whereas Milan, in my opinion, his climbing abilities are a bit less than Pedersen and will not be of that service to the leaders for GC.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, Pedersen, what was that, the Volta this year?
Yeah.
Where he was like, the domestique work was really impressive. Really impressive. So if, let's say Jonathan Milan goes back to the Tour next year, unobstructed, does he win another green jersey? Or because that was I feel like that was a unique situation.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget Philipsen crashed out early.
Yeah. And Philipsen wins that if he doesn't.
Pedersen was not there. Pedersen is an incredible rider for the points jersey. He's already he won the green jersey in the Tour, no? Already?
I don't know about that. I think he won it at the Giro this year.
No, he won in the Giro and the Vuelta, but
I don't think he's won the green jersey.
No, he didn't. No, Little Trek won the green jersey and the points jersey in all 3 Grand Tours.
Yes,
yeah,
that's what we're thinking.
Yeah. But listen, Mats Pedersen is an incredible rider. I think having him as one of your protected riders for the points classification, it's, I would say, between him and Jonathan Milan, if I have to choose, I think statistically, there's probably more chance Pedersen wins it than Milan.
Yeah, and this year you had these weird situations where I don't know why they did this. The sprint point would be like 20K into the stage. So they would just have Quinn Simmons control it. Milan would get it. You can imagine a Tour where it's a bit more difficult than that to grab those points. But so they've set these races. As just as a manager, a man manager, would you rather have this and now everyone's kind of, as you say, split into camps? Like, I'm doing this, but I kind of want to be doing that. And I have my allies on the team now aligned with me against this guy. Or would you rather have everyone trying to impress you all year, trying to get on that Tour team?
Well, I think, it's still the case. Let's not forget the teams, normally they announce the program of their leaders because we live in an era where with social media and the demands of the media are so, really demanding that you kind of have to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. There's no rule for that. You don't have to, but, I would be more in favor of obviously discussing it internally and deciding internally at the beginning of the season. Okay, these are the big lines. Let's say, okay, this leader, this is his program. This is what we're going to try to achieve. But we all know that the season can change. There are a lot of things that I am not completely in favor of already saying, okay, for the Tour de France, for example, Visma has done this already a couple of years now. These are the 8 riders for the Tour. This is, in my opinion, it's not ideal because I think you need more. You need to have your core 5, 6 riders. And then for those last 2 places, I think it's, in my opinion, the way I see it, it's good that there's a healthy internal competition for those last spots because it brings up the level of the team. And we all know that, it can change because if now in December you already say to a guy who's number 9 or 10 on the list, hey, you're not in the 8, sorry. It can be counterproductive. The guy can say, okay, you know what? I think I deserve to be on there. Screw you guys. I'm going to look for another team already.
Yeah. Especially if you tell them Jan 1 or whenever.
Yeah. It depends how the discussions go, of course, but I think it should be the core, the way we did it. And I don't want to say that it was better, but I always had. First of all, we never had 30 riders. We had 20, 22, 25 sometimes maximum, and so you had let's say 12 to 14 riders who, when we were focusing on the Tour de France. These are the 12 or the 14 riders who can be in the team for the Tour. It was still nine riders then. And you have that conversation with these riders in the off season at the first training camp. Okay, you know what? You're on the long list of the tour, and this is the program we're going to do to lead up. And then we're deciding in the month before. Usually, you go stepwise. You after the classics or after the first stage race, you say, okay, you know what? This is my core group. If nothing happens, these 6 are sure. And then the last 2 or 3, usually we decided after Dauphiné and Tour de Suisse, whoever was in great shape, because you can have a guy who's on the list of 8 and is for some reason doesn't work out. I mean, nothing says that these teams who announce these selections already now, they're allowed to change it. I mean, nobody can tell them, okay, now you announced it, now you have to take those 8. It changes. But I think it should be a mix of both, not set in stone already in December or, I'm not a big fan of that.
I guess now that just as you were talking, I was thinking maybe what's slightly different now is these altitude camps are so numerous and so planned in advance that
for sure,
if you're going to the tour, you should probably be at these altitude camps.
Yeah.
They're spending so much money on them. They want you to be there adapting, getting the training down.
Yeah, I know, Spencer, but you know what? I mean, if we look, we just talked about Remco 40 races. Let's say, nowadays, the guys who do the most races probably 60, 65.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of, I mean, it doesn't mean because you're going to do, let's say Catalunya and Dauphiné, in the lead up. I mean, other riders can do, Romandy and Tour of Switzerland. And in between those races, you can also still do training camps. Now, of course, logistically, it becomes complicated for a team, right? It's better you have your core group to follow that program with the staff. And but yeah, I mean, listen, you're right. It's changed so much that the training camps, the altitude training camps, are obviously a big influence in those decisions of those programs.
Yeah. So the Larry Warbus 2023. This is the most race days I've seen in recent history, 90 race days. And that's like the most, there's maybe a few people touching 100 sometimes, but you're right. They have trimmed that. And I don't really get it. I was just trying to think of reasons why you would maybe want to define that as early as possible. But what you're just talking about, Tour of Switzerland, Primož Roglic preparing. Did you notice that they trimmed it to 5 days?
I saw that. Yeah,
that's got to really mess with the preparation. I mean, it's good for Primož if he's just trying to show up and win. He doesn't care about the tour. But if you're a tour contender or even just racing the tour, it's like, well, what do you do? Like, do you try to combine that with the training camp?
Yeah, you have to. You have to. You have more altitude training camp. It was super intensive racing during 5 days, and the Tour of Switzerland, they will have to have at least 2 mountain stages.
2 time trials, 2 mountain stages.
Probably a time trial. So, I think probably no prologue. But because this year there was a prologue and a mountaintop time trial, right?
Romandy and Switzerland, for some reason, often have 2 time trials.
Yeah. Well, if you bring it back to 5 days, you cannot have 2 time trials, unless one mountain stage is a mountain time trial. But it's bizarre. I don't know if it's budget wise, also probably.
And because I think they're independent. They're one of the only independent races left.
I mean, they're not part of ASO or RCS or Flanders Classics. They're an independent race. Yeah.
Because Amstel got purchased by Flanders.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they were doing well. Like, that was a strong race. So if they sold, it tells you it must be tough sledding for the rest of those teams.
Yeah.
Johan, anything else? Are we missing any news before we get to the big check-in of the week, the Strava Challenge?
The Strava Challenge. How are you doing, Spencer? Well, I mean, unfortunately, we have to say, Spencer, in your favor, the luck is not on your side. You missed your bag got delayed, so you couldn't ride today. I got 100 kilometers, so
that's crushing. I was thinking it'd be funny if I just didn't.
So I
don't know what happened to it.
So what is your total right now?
You can only see it on the desktop, right?
Oh, you can see it. So what's your total?
My total is.
No, you have to click on there. There you go.
So you go to.
So you go to you're in miles. Okay, so miles. 7,259. So 7,260 miles.
And then, so 7. Okay. Remember that.
What about me?
7 to.
I know I know I passed the 12,000 kilometer mark. So that was my goal this year. So mission accomplished already.
Okay. 7,415. So it's not quite 200 miles ahead.
Wow, it's still, I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, like I said, I'm like Roman Bardet. I'm in second place, but am I even really in the fight?
Plus, you have to travel back home, but you have to test this aerodynamic bike now. So maybe you're gonna catch up.
Yeah, I have an overnight layover in Brussels. I'll unpack it and go. Maybe I'll go do some Roubaix recon from the airport,
or take a private plane and put the rollers inside the plane.
Yeah, we might have to resort to that. I was picking transit hotels in Brussels, and I was like, that one looks like it maybe has a Peloton.
Oh, okay.
So I can get some lots like that.
Well, anyway, Spencer, listen. I mean, I think it's a very fun challenge between the both of us. We our fans follow it. Sometimes I run into people. I actually run into somebody in Madrid the other day, a French guy who was big fan of the podcast, and the first thing he asked is, "How are you doing compared to Spencer?"
To me a lot. It's really funny how much people care.
No, listen. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, we've both ridden a substantial amount of kilometers this season, and I've accomplished my goal already. So anything's a bonus now.
Yeah, there are people. Some listeners will know this, but next week I'm participating in a 500-kilometer challenge.
Oh,
so it is a chance to hold back some days.
Okay, where's that? That's not. I mean, it's not in the United States. Where is it? Somewhere in the Caribbean?
No, it's just like you can do it. Anyone can do it. It's just like a challenge that some friends and I have been doing every year, and then now like other people are joining it on Strava.
Oh, on Strava. Okay,
yeah.
And so I mean, Zwift counts also.
Zwift counts also.
What is it? 500 miles?
500K.
500K. So you're gonna still do 500K this December.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
I was not going to tell you, but then I thought, is that ethical if I'm doing a challenge and I don't mention it to you?
I mean, it's okay. It means that I can't relax over Christmas.
It's like, what if someone leaks the information to them?
Well, I mean, listen, I mean, you can take advantage of, I mean, I'm going 5 days to Belgium. I'm not taking my bike.
It's huge.
But after Christmas, I'm coming back here for a week. That's not good for you.
It's pretty good riding. We were talking before we recorded. How did it come to be that it's Red Bull does Mallorca, I guess, because the Germans in the team will not let them not go there. But
everybody else is here.
How did that come to be?
Yeah, I mean, I remember. I listened in early and late 80s already. It started. I mean, I came here early 90s when I signed for Once, and I actually lived here for 10 years in the village next nearby here. And since then, I mean, this point on the map of Spain, between Valencia and Alicante, statistically over the winter, I mean, winter and spring, it is by far the best weather. There's many riders who, first of all, there's riders who permanently live here, like Mathieu van der Poel lives here permanently. Remco lives here permanently. And then there's many riders who rent something for 3 months, 4 months. And also, I think that, the hotel infrastructure is amazing for teams. I mean, you're at the UAE camp. I mean, I'm going to take a wild guess, but between the pro team, the women's team, is the women's team there?
Yeah.
And the development team, I'm going to say it's at least 150 people, if not more.
I mean, they have so much staff.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
And so there are not many regions that can actually cater for that amount of people. I mean, they're all in the same hotel, right?
Yeah.
And there's many hotels. Plus, something also considerable is that in this winter period, the prices are actually very cheap compared to other regions. So it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you have in the team's budget, if you do a training camp of 2 weeks with 100 plus people, that's a big amount of money.
Yeah. I'm staying in Benidorm, but up on the hill, it's quite nice. But when you look down at the city, it's weird. There's so many skyscrapers because they're probably like, we got to fit as many rooms in here as possible. So let's build 50-story hotel buildings. I mean, the UAE one that you mentioned is kind of perfect. I looked at the price, not expensive per room. At the top of a hill into the road, you can kind of you can spread out, take over the garage, I assume. And yeah, there's maybe not and it's supposedly dry here, even though it's not dry this weekend, but there's not many places that check all those boxes.
Yeah, for sure. Plus the riding is amazing also. You can ride flat, you can gentle climbs, bigger climbs. I mean, obviously not real big mountain passes, but there's
some pretty big climbs.
There's some climbs of 7, 8, 10 kilometers. So it's you don't need anything more for this time of the year.
And smooth roads, which you go to Italy.
And a lot of back roads. Plus what you also have, Spencer, I mean, you will see if you manage to get some rides in. The drivers here are very used to seeing so many cyclists. Nobody gets upset, which is, a big plus to come train here.
Yeah, it's a nice culture too. Like I showed up 2 hours late to the car rental place in the US. They would probably hassle you about that. It's like, that's not a problem. Like nothing's a problem.
Well, Spain is, it's not today, it's mañana. Mañana.
that part of the culture is nice. When you order room service for lunch and doesn't show up for 4 hours, that's the downside of it. But Johan, it was great doing this in person. Anything else before we take off?
Well, no, I hope you can sort everything out logistically and that we can get a ride in together before the end of the weekend.
Hilarious if we did not.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually bring the stuff. I'm like, I don't know where the guy is. They're not showing up with the shoes. But no, it was great doing this, and hopefully we get a ride in. And we'll be back next week. We'll be back on Monday with George Incap.
We'll be back on Monday.
For trades and transfers. Yeah. Which hopefully this Oscar Onley thing is resolved by then, so we can talk about it.
It won't be resolved by then. I mean, whatever we're going to get is going to be rumors, not confirmed.
Yeah. Well, I'll see what I can.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Spencer.
Okay. Talk to you.